Hi everybody, this is Mitch Wagner from Light Reading for OrbTV. I'm here with Len Padilla, VP Product Strategy for NTT Europe. Very smart guy. We had an opportunity to talk a minute before we started. So I understand you guys are very interested in multi-cloud these days.
We are. There are a lot of different flavors of cloud that we run on behalf of our customers. Lots of third-party clouds that we actually help them get into. And the real trick of multi-cloud, I think, is finding a way to stitch it all together and make it sane, because it's very easy to end up putting different workloads in the appropriate platforms, but end up with a real management nightmare.
Okay, and what's your role in helping with that?
So my role in that is I run product strategy, so I'm looking forward and deciding where it is that we want to take the products, whether that's our network side or the hosting side, the cloud side. Sounds like a marketing role, and it kind of is, but I come from a history of operations. I ran operations here in Europe for about 12 years, so I still remember what it's like to be in the trenches and what the real world is like.
Yeah. It's always important to have a mix of those areas. So how do you advise, what do you advise enterprises to do as they're making this transition to multi-cloud?
Right, so it depends on obviously the kind of company that you're dealing with, where they are in their journey, how mature they are in terms of what they think about cloud platforms and how they're using cloud platforms. But at the end of the day, it's a typical, I would say, consulting light exercise. So we sit down with them, we figure out with their architects what it is that they're doing. We try to understand a lot about their business, not just about their IT. And that gives us really good clues as to which platforms are going to be the best for which different parts of their application suite. So it's really about sitting down and humans to humans talking and doing that part first, and then the technology decisions will fall out of that.
Okay. So how do you advise enterprises on addressing the security issues for multi-cloud?
Security is it can be a big concern. Like I said, depending on what kind of a customer it is, everybody's concerned with it, but they'll have more or less, let's say, fears about it. So a lot of the customers, if they're regulated industries, if they're in pharma, banking, some parts of the government industry, they'll be very, very concerned. Luckily, within the NTT group, we've got a specific security company, NTT Security, so we're able to bring them in, and whether it's the technology side of security that they need, what kinds of firewalls, what kinds of network protection, or if it's more on the consulting side, how do I get to a PCI certification? What kinds of things do I need to do? We cover them from both sides. I'd say that what proves to be a challenge more than the technical side, it's the human and the process side. So a lot of companies they'll know that they need to achieve some sort of certification. PCI is a good example, but they don't always have a good idea of what that means. Not only in terms of technology, but in terms of their own internal procedures. So that's a place where I think we probably make the most difference. I think the technology, in terms of network protection and security, is relatively a commodity service. It's humans talking to humans and figuring out how do you need to change the way that you work, how do you need to change the data flows within your company to make things secure. That's where we do the most work.
Yeah, so it sounds like in general, not just with cloud and security, you're really focused on business processes as much or if not more than.
Very much. I mean, I always say that we do our best work the earliest into the deal that we have exposure. If we can get in before they've made a lot of decisions or before they've placed their bets on a certain technology or a certain kind of network, whatever it might be, we feel like we can help them more. If we get in there and we can understand their business and understand really what the drivers are from the business side, then we can help them. We're not always going to decide it on our own, but we can help them make the best technology decision.
Okay, great. Let's just leave it there then. Thank you.